job on the offensive end. Halpert up ahead for Leifer. Leifer open for throws the alley-oop for Turell. Oh my goodness!
Bye-bye.
Zevi, welcome to the Ball Habat, and thank you so much. Thank you so much for the patience and the time, and Nathan here, former Mac, a long time ago. I played with your current coach. We were on the team, the YU team together way back when, back before the before cell phones and before all these things that people had, distractions. All we did was practice every night, 7:30 to 10. I don't know what this morning practice thing is, but you get used to it. And Oren here, who veteran announcer for the Max, but we like to get together.
I was Nathan, full disclosure, I was Zevi's teacher in a sense.
Ooh, I want to hear about this.
No, not really. When Zevi was an all-star at TABC, I worked in the main office.
True.
Very cool. I'm out here in Teaneck, New Jersey. Was that I think was Rabbi Adler still very active back then, or in at TABC, or was it more towards the sort of the I'm not sure what his role there now, but he was our Masada Kedushin. We're big Rabbi Adler fans.
Oh, is that question directed towards me?
I don't know. I have no idea what was going on back then. TABC is like this New Jersey school thing is all a mystery to me.
No, Rabbi Adler was there.
There weren't many choices. We just went to whatever day school, Jewish day school would let us in.
Yeah. It was a growing pains time when Zevi was there. Rabbi Adler, Rabbi Adlock, Rabbi Edelman, a lot of movement. So Zevi got the best of all worlds.
So awesome. So Zevi, tell us a little bit. Just like again, I'm sure we'll talk plenty during the season, and want to appreciate your time. Be respectful of the time. There's so many questions that are pouring in from every level of this, but I think the first thing we got to start out with is, is this how you expected everything to go?
Saying the season so far?
Like this season, the team, guys, like when you started the season, there were only 4 guys who had played minutes for the Max, before the season. And even some of those minutes weren't so extensive. And you guys seem like you've been playing together for months, years, if not. Like the way you guys have come together so quickly.
Yeah, I mean, coming in, we all looked at each other and we're like, this is a new team. We're all coming, some guys out of high school, some guys were older, some guys were younger, some went, I went to Israel, some guys are coming from Israel, like they lived in Israel, some kids are coming from high school all over. And, it's really just, that's like a big thing of that, like I like about a Jewish school, a Jewish environment, is that when it comes to the Jewish people, we're very into coming together and working things out and being together as one. So like on the team, on the court, off the court, it's like everybody's together, and like we just found the chemistry on and off the court, and then we just started playing, and we've been playing pretty well.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I got the pleasure of being there last night. And there've been plenty of games, right, where it seems like you guys are up against it, and can easily, mentally throw in the towel, but that's not the mentality of this team at all. And just finding a way and a will to sort of move through some interesting shots and some again, just incredible shots in the making. Not that you're unfamiliar with that apparently, but talk to us about what's the prep like, right, in terms of the work that you're doing, the work that's happening to the game. Is it a different level, or is it really just like this is all, hey, this is what I expected, this is what people told me about, and I'm here to put in the work?
Yeah, I mean, I guess people say you earn your spots, you have to work hard for everything, you have to work hard to win games, and it's really just like, I guess I didn't think, I guess I came in and I really didn't know what to expect. And then, it's really just adjusting. And then the more you play, the more, you develop more, and the more you learn. I feel like that's with anybody in any job someone goes into, the more you go, the more you learn about it. So it was like, I came in, people told me, you just have to work hard. And then that's what I did. And, that's and the team did that together. It's really just, coming in and working hard. There's not really so much like, oh, you have to be this good or you have to be that bad. It's not like that. It's really just come put the work in and you perform.
Yeah, absolutely. Zevi, I've obviously seen your evolution as a player since freshman year out of high school. I still rewind back to that day. It was right before the COVID lockdown. You hit like 4 consecutive threes against DRS, and that iced the game. And then COVID broke out, so there was no Yeshiva League championship game. Still remember your dad was working so hard to make that game happen. An unexpected fan who's been at some of these games in the MSAC has been your uncle, Rav Sobolovsky, and I've seen him invested. He seems like he's really into it. How's it been having him in the crowd watching you play?
It's fun. It's good. He sees, I sit next to him in the base every day. We're like a few tables away in the morning. So, he sees that I'm committed to both. And, he's my uncle, so family also, but I feel like he looks at it and says, you know what, if a guy can be able to learn and use this basketball as a healthy outlet and uses the basketball as something to, I guess, make Kiddush Hashem and just to overall enhance my own Yiddishkeit. Like, he came and supported, he came and watched, family, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's what we've seen over the past number of years. And that's really been the draw has
like, as a Jewish people, we have something more to it.
It's interesting. We had a really like a mind-blowing conversation. I do think it's worthwhile for everyone to take a look at it once it's back. But there's a student out in Texas A&M, Sam Sauls, who's basically willed himself as a walk-on running back at Texas A&M, and the way he talks about Hashem's role in that journey and his role right now in terms of bringing through. But he made a comment earlier, and I just think it's. I know we sort of do the Anu-Ratzim, Haim-Ratzim, piece, but it was just interesting the way he talked about the connection, the faith-based, right, in some of these communities, that faith is a huge part of that community, right, and sort of and being able to connect with each other on that, on that spectrum, right, and so just seeing some of those things is just interesting. But just again, it's just a tremendous story, and we're just seeing more and more, right, where there's more welcoming and more acceptance, right, at the same time as we're seeing. Sort of what our role is. Talk us about the Tefillin project, because that, like, seeing first of all, the shirts are fantastic, but like, what is that like? And sort of asked someone yesterday, and they're like, "Hey, has Zevi got us these shirts? Like, what's going on with this, and how can we help spread the word?"
All right, so it's a good question. Really, what happened was, I've been learning with Roy over the past few months as we started YU, as we were starting basketball, and we've been learning. And I guess he came up to me one day and said, like, what about tefillin? Maybe I asked him, I don't remember exactly. I said maybe as a joke, like, yo, let me get you a pair of tefillin. And I don't remember exactly what he said. I think he said he was interested.
Wow.
So I'm like, I'm gonna make this happen. I had an extra pair at home, and I brought it to YU, and I was ready to give it to him. And then my aunt, Rebbetzin Sobolovsky, said to me, she said, Zevi, I have these people that have, they raise money and they have donors that have pairs of tefillin, and they're willing to give it to somebody that wants it, is committed to putting it on as much as he can, and they'll do it for free. So what I did was I reached out to them, and they were like, maybe let's do it in a little bit. And I'm like, no, this guy wants it now. We got to make it happen. And, they came, they brought the tefillin, and I surprised Roy. We made a whole thing, like, he knew, like, I was going to give him a pair of tefillin. He wasn't sure what was going to happen. He wasn't sure. He thought I bought it myself. He didn't know anything was happening. And I came and surprised him, and now he's been putting on tefillin every single day. So it's really, give much, I guess, thanks to the Tefillin project that helped arrange this and give away a free pair of tefillin to somebody that needed it, and it was awesome.
Yeah, that's tremendous. I think it's obviously no small commitment from Roy's standpoint, right? To be able to make that step. And we were just talking about that with Matan's father, right? About Matan's own journey, sort of Jewish journey. And I think just like that's always been YU basketball, where you have so many different people from different backgrounds, right, on their religious and their Yiddishkeit and different spectrums and their experiences and the experience of the parents and where they come from, and just to be able to, see people make connections and be able to have those connections affect, positive actions, right? Whether it be mitzvot specifically like this, or just right, like a better way to understand, a better way to talk and experience something you may not have experienced. It was tremendous. We saw the video, I think of Daniel, right, and sort of his bar mitzvah and sort of putting tefillin on and that experience too. And again, it's just it brings like it just hits you right in the feels, but it's like what we're about, right? Like that's right. People often say like, YU's not about Kiruv, right? People who go to YU don't care about Kiruv at the end of the day, right? It's just about the community, but like it's happening in front of our eyes, and it's tremendous, and we're all responsible to be Makariv in whatever way we can. And we appreciate what you're doing on the basketball aspect, like balancing that. Like, how do you think about, like you talk about, right? Like it's basketball, and then I go out and do my thing. Last year you were in Israel, right? And I believe that was Shana Bet, right? Shana Bet at Shana Aleph last year was Shana Aleph, and you were Reishi.
Yeah.
So what, like, how do you, like, you just played ball, like you play ball every year? Did you know what was coming in? Did it matter? Like, how did you balance yourself? Were you prepping for this, or was just like, listen, I'm just going to go and do what I think is the right thing to do?
All right. So I try to look at it as beyond, the prepping for basketball, but more about why I play basketball. And I felt strongly that, I said this on interview after one of the games, that it's a big thing for me is everybody needs a downtime. No one can learn 24 hours straight. People need sleep. So besides sleep, what is there? Imagine a guy gets 8 hours. What is there? 16 hours left, whatever. The guy can't learn, all day. So I look at it and I say, you know what? I need a downtime. What would be a healthy outlet? What would be something healthy, productive that I could do during that time? And, as a young age, or as the years were going on, I'm like, you know what? I love basketball. I feel like it can help me in my Yiddishkeit. It can help me in my downtime. It can help me feel good about myself. I'm exercising, you're training, and you're getting better at something. So I more saw it as like, you know what? I'm going to wake up early every single morning. I'm going to go daven. I think I davened early in Raisha. There was a mini nearby. I came back, played ball for 2 hours, and then went to morning share. And it was like, you know what? I started off my day feeling good, feeling healthy, feeling like I've been up for a few hours. And then it was like, so I look at it and I'm like, all right, this is going to boost me or give me fuel to make me feel good about myself, to make me feel healthy as a person. When somebody, doesn't work out so much or whatever it is, they feel like they need to. Like everyone has that feeling, oh, you got to move, I got to start exercising. So I feel that, I try to maintain that every single day. And then, I feel like it helps my learning. Obviously, if I don't play basketball one day, it doesn't mean I'm not going to learn. But I feel like it helps me. It helps me go and use the same mentality for basketball into the learning. For example, 5 minutes before a game, you're not walking onto the gym. 5 minutes before davening, why are we taking our time getting stuff ready and then try to get to minyan exactly on time for minyan? So I really try to take the basketball mentality and now put it into the Yiddishkeit mentality and saying like, you know what? During a game, are you checking your phone? Are you during a meeting? If you have a meeting with somebody, right? Imagine you're meeting with you're applying for a job, and you see and there's clear windows outside, and you see your friend walking by. You're going to stop and wave to him? Of course not. So in the middle of davening, when someone's in the middle of Shemona Esrei, in the middle of Shema, his friend walks by. Now you can start talking to him with your tefillin on. So I really try to put that basketball perspective and mentality and motivation, and now put it into the Yiddishkeit. And so that's really what it was like in Israel. It was really like, you know what? I got to wake up early. I got a ball. Yes, it's going to be hard. I wish it was easy every single morning. It's going to be hard, but bigger picture, I'm playing because it's part of my avodas Hashem. And, I feel like Hashem gave me talents, and for me not to use them is a waste. So I put that in the morning, and then I learned. And some days I play ball a little bit in the afternoon. And it was really like, you know what? I thought heavily about going back another year, and there was a lot going on in the summer. And I felt like coming to YU was the best. And I came to YU, and then I just continued. It wasn't really like, oh, now I really have to start playing basketball again. But it was really because every single day I woke up with the same mentality as, when I want to grow in my Avodas Hashem, every single day I got to get 1% better in growing towards Hashem. How can I do that the best? And I felt that putting basketball into my daily life, into my daily learning was going to really help me.
That's amazing. And I think that, I think one thing, again, as YU graduates is that, there's so much there, especially within the, learning in the Talmud Torah and just Gedolim that are sitting around the basement, like just incredible people that if you want to put it in, you will absolutely be able to just like reach tremendous heights. I think it's really an incredible thing. Is any of this transition, right? Like, is that the mentality speaks to me as like, listen, you have a very clear path and a picture of sort of what is feeding into that, right? And what may be starting to detract from it. This season for us at least is a lot different because the noise is different, right? And I'm sure for the players is different. There was scouts and articles and people following around the team last year. This year the expectations were much different coming in. What's sort of the mood been like in practice leading up to the season? What are those expectations? How does coach sort of talk through and sort of manage your intent for being there and other people? Like, everyone's not in the same place. Like, how is that being? How do you see that coming together?
We're all new, so it's more like, we're learning. It's very hard to just go from playing high school ball to now coming into college, playing against better players, taller players, more athletic players, faster speed of the game, in a different, like, I guess, a different style of play. So, you come into college and it's really like, every practice we're like, okay, you know what? They did great things last year, but right now it's not last year. So we could focus about all we want is, okay, this was how good they were last year. If we're not exactly like that, then something's wrong with us. No, we didn't go in like that. We went in saying like, you know what? We're a fresh, brand new team. We're excited to be there. We're excited to get better. We might have some ups and downs, but we know we're there to learn and to get better every single day. So it's realized we have to come in every single practice being like, you know what? We have to work for everything. Because if we come in as the expectation is they were very good last year, and now we're like, all right, yeah, we don't have to work hard because it's just going to continue. Well, it's not going to happen. We really had to every single day go into practice and be like, every single day, give it our all, every single day, be prepared for the next game. And we have to just think that we're there to learn, we're there to get better. And if there's a day in practice that we don't try hard or we don't work as hard, then that's what's going to happen in the games. So we try every single day to give it a maximum effort so that the games come and then we're ready to play.
And has the motion, to get a little technical, has the motion been hard to learn? Again, you talk about being new. For you specifically, has the motion been hard to pick up? Or do you feel like the repetition has been, tremendous and obviously the game part of it?
Yeah, obviously 100%. The game and the practice has been helping a lot. But it's the same with anything. You put one guy on the court and you just tell him to move around, we'll be doing great. You tell two guys, now they have to communicate. It's really, really about communicating and playing as a team. The second we start not doing that and not communicating, then it gets hard. So it really is, we just got to keep moving, keep communicating. And when we do that, it's not as difficult, but it's not a one guy team. It's not one guy on there. It's really all five guys have to communicate and play together. And then it's not as hard. But the second we start falling apart and don't communicate, and everyone thinks that, it's, one guy has to do his part and the other four guys don't, or two guys have to, and then we're going to fall apart. So really it's all five guys have to be in it together.
Offense or defense? Which do you like? Which do you challenge yourself more on?
Need to work on my defense more.
How is it like? Is you talked about the level of play, right? Do you feel like it's more reliant on ball defense, or do you feel like it's there's more of a team defense and sort of knowing where to go? Is that part of it?
It's both. It's really about knowing where to be. Each person has to keep his man in a certain position, and then if he does his part, and then let's just say he does his part, and then the ball gets passed. If the other three guys or four guys are not there, then nothing happens. Then the guy who did his job didn't do anything because the rest of the guys didn't help him there. So it's really like, again, all five guys have to be there communicating. and then we'll be able to do well.
Who keeps the locker room the lightest on this team? Like who's keeping you guys loose? Who's that personality?
Seems like Gav.
Yeah. What do you mean loose?
Like who? I don't know who like again. What's the vibe in the locker room? You guys serious, joking? I mean, you guys seem to have fun out there. Like who's are there like do you guys have roles in terms of the off the court stuff? Like are there some clowns? I know we heard Matan's doing a heck of a job on the Dvar Torah, the pregame Dvar Torah, which is tremendous. Obviously, big footsteps to big shoes to fill in from Max Leibowitz. What are some of the other roles that sort of pop up on the team?
It's not really like that. We're just there together.
It's together. I love it.
Dotan's very, very funny. Very funny guy.
How many languages?
I don't even know, but he's the guy that makes us laugh, Mr. Dotan.
I met his parents last night, who are wonderful people, but I never would have guessed that part. Although that's tremendous. That's
funny guy. Good guy, very good guy, very, very funny.
Is there any Hebrew out there on the court? You guys like talk to each other? Like sometimes like it's less hiding from the other team. Like in football, sometimes you try to do a different language, but does it show up every once in a while?
I mean, if Dotan, Adi, and Roy decide to talk to each other, it's probably going to be in Hebrew. But I don't know. I don't know.
That's fantastic. What are something you want like to see? Like as you think about sort of the season progressing, like what are you looking forward to? Sort of with the team and with sort of the next steps going on.
Really just fixing up on the errors, but that's really going to come with every day, every game, learning more and more. But really just every game, walk out of that game, be like, all right, what did we do wrong? And how do we prevent that for the next game? And just minimize our mistakes every single game. And then, the offense side, it's just playing together, trusting each other. And, the just overall being there together. If one guy gets mad at somebody else or yells at someone else, it's not going to work. It's really just every single game, just going in and just trying to fix up the mistakes that we had the last game. And that way we'll be great.
And you and Max went right toe. It's like, what are we expecting? What should fans expect when Max gets back on the court? Right, you guys know each other pretty well, right? From your days,
Rich TABC days.
Exactly.
What should the fans expect when Max gets back healthy?
Very good player. He could shoot. He could finish. He could drive. Very good at getting to the rim. He'll probably create for a lot of us. Even create for himself. He'll be a guy that will catch the ball at the wing, make a play, and either kick it out or finish himself. He'll share the ball, score, help us on defense tremendously. Just be a team player, and he'll help us create.
I love just the to me the ball handling, right? So right now the ball handling, what he'll add to that. There are teams, right? Some teams have come out and played more press than I think we've seen in multiple years past, right? So whether it's in coming back in games or otherwise, so having another ball handler would be tremendous. We want to be respectful of your time. We really thank you so much for being here and incredible. I'm going to ask you two things if you can do. I'm going to tell you the second thing first, so you can think about it a little bit. But I want you to leave us with a little shtickle Torah, something to like think about, about something that you're learning now, something that's on your mind, something that you think will help people, right? So think about that, and then I'll tell you like what is there a pre or post game food ritual that exists yet? Like I know there are big debates about Burgers and Grill and Golan, and I think there's room for everything, right? All kinds of Jews, so all kinds of food. But do you have anything in your rituals so far and sort of being on campus that sort of jumps out at you?
Not really. I don't know.
Nothing yet. It used to be the big thing last year. Exactly. They have to set their own tone. They got to figure out what they're what they're going to do as they get together with the Max Live folks. But leave us with a little bit of something here. Tell something about anything. I don't want to put you on the spot, but if I have to cover, I will. My bar mitzvah parts is Vayese, so I'm getting ready to lane this week at Youth Mini at Shul. But there's a lot going on. It doesn't have to be partial. What's so you guys learn? What are you learning this year? Is there a Be'in share and a Bekia share going on?
We're learning Gittin.
Gittin Be'in?
Be'in and Bekias.
Ambiguous. I just got done. We got done with 2+ years of Kasuba,
Nice.
2+ years of almost now we're in Kasuba. So it's like the concepts are fantastic. Like, you end up with things that are like,
It's hard.
I had no idea it came from here. Like no idea. Like just sort of like opening up. What's something that's popped up? That's what's been a hard area. A lot of review.
I don't know. It's hard overall. It's a lot. It's a lot. I'll give a quick vote. We'll give one on last week's parsha, and then we'll give. Yikes. Okay, we'll give one on last week's parsha, and then we'll give a Rosh Chodesh, because it just happened. So last week's parsha, we know that our shuls, Yaakov would kick to try to get out, and when she would walk by Avodah Zarah, Asa would try to get out. So the famous question, right? She knew that she was going to have two kids. One's going to be evil, one's going to be good. So the famous question is what about free choice? People are born and they have free choice. So she knew that both of her children are not going to have free choice. So why are they going to be born? So the answer is that Yaakov could have been like Esau if he wanted to. He could have been evil. And Esau could have been like Yaakov if he wanted to. But they each decided that he wanted to go bad, Esau, and Yaakov wanted to go good. So one or the other, Yaakov had the free choice to follow Esau, and he chose not to. And Esau had the free choice to follow Yaakov, and he didn't want to. I take out of that is that every single person has free choice. Every single person could go a good route or a bad route. Every person is going to be in different situations. And then he really has to think about, do I want to tag along with guys that are not doing the best things, or do I want to follow in the path that I know is the right path, come closer to Hashem? So that's one thing to think about. And then for Rosh Chodesh, I actually heard from my brother-in-law, gave me this vart. He said the whole point of Hallel on Rosh Chodesh is thanking Hashem, praising Hashem. But then we say Min HaMetzer. We're talking about hardships, and then we say Ana Hashem Oshiana, Ana Hashem Atzichana. Hashem save us, and Hashem bring us success. So we're saying is, why are we saying Hashem, thank you so much, and then we're saying, oh, please save us? What is he saving us from? So he answered me, he said, if you look at it overall as a Jew's life, he wakes up, he's very happy. Even if somebody has hardships, overall a person looks at his life, he says, you know what, I'm born into a Jewish family, I have good morals, I have good foundations, I have a good family, I have good food, I have Shabbos. Overall in a person's life, majority of his life, he's really happy. So we're thanking Hashem for that. We're thanking Hashem for giving us an amazing family, amazing opportunities to grow closer to him, amazing Torah to learn. But then we say, you know what, Hashem, there's 1% that things are not going well. We have encounters with people that we don't want to have encounters with. Sometimes we mess up and we speak Lashon Hara. Sometimes people say things that we wish we didn't hear. Or sometimes, we're in a situation that we don't want to be in, but we're there. Sometimes, they could go on for the 1% of things that are not the best in our life. Maybe you lose your wallet, or maybe a person, gets a bruise or something, whatever that is. So that's when we say that 1%, we're saying, Ana Hashem Mashiach. So we say, Hashem, thank you so much for everything you gave us. But the 1% that things are not going the best, please save us and bring us success.
I'll try to connect the two for you, because I think you may have heard this concept before, but if you think about Rosh Chodesh, because I think that's a beautiful thing, especially in the Hallel piece, because that's true, right? Every time we see Hallel, right? Even when we're celebrating events and the holidays where we're saying full Hallel or full thank you, but to connect the dots a little bit, because I think it triggered something in me. But Rosh Chodesh, right, is when do we get the mitzvah of Rosh Chodesh? Right, we get the mitzvah of Rosh Chodesh right after. Right before actually we leave Egypt, right? When sort of we take that break and we get, and the question is, why is Rosh Chodesh the first mitzvah? And I think it's, exemplary of sort of what you've talked about here in terms of how you use your time, right? Because we were slaves, we didn't control our time, right? So what Hashem was giving us right away is the most important gift, was the gift of time. You are now in control of your time, right? But as you said, the Yaakov and Esau piece is how you use it. That's up to you, right? You have free will about how you use that time. Right. And so we got that mitzvah right before we left Egypt. And I think what we're seeing, what we're doing and hearing, and just, again, incredibly inspiring from our first guest all the way through to this conversation, is right? Be really careful about how you use your time, right? Know why you're using your time and know what the value of your time is. And we can't thank you enough for using your time here, because it's not about us having this conversation and like I'll walk away inspired. No one will walk away inspired, but I think it's about the people who are seeing it, the kids that you're going to see and they're seeing at the games, the other people to really understand and really know what this is about. And we really appreciate you choosing to use your time here. And thank you so much. We won't keep you any longer, but we'll hopefully see you tomorrow, and everything will be just, again, regardless, win or lose, enjoyable, and walk into Shabbos feeling like we're using our time the best we can. That's hopefully a bracha that we'll all have to be able to do. So thank you, Zevi. Thank you,
so much.
Oren. We'll close up a little bit after this, but thank you and have an amazing night. Get
Oren,
some, as Coach
see you
Zucker
later.
said, get some rest.
See you later, Zevi. We'll
Wake up
talk.
early and do what you do.
All right. Thank you so much.
Take care.
All right, I think that was the first on the Balabatim. We had a Devar Torah given by a YU Mac, and the hottest player on the team, no less.
Yeah, I think it's going to be although it's not the first time we've had it on this show. Trying to stick, trying to carry on sort of the legacy of Rabbi Ari Lamb. Hopefully he'll we'll be able to find his whereabouts soon enough and get him back into this. I know he's quite busy in general, but he's
I'll channel my inner Ari Lamb. I should have brought in Zevi, but we had Zevi come out at the same time as Coach Zucker. I could have called him Samet the Gambit.
we all sorts of, honestly, I love the Splash Brothers piece. I love the Zev Curry. The reference today, I know we were talking about, Oren Batesh as he's the Clay HaKodesh. He's you got the Splash Brothers working together. So the nicknames are like the best part of this. No one does it justice like Ari, but Oren, like I said, you're prolific. It's been a pleasure having this conversation. I can't wait for tomorrow night. I know it's late at night. Thank you for everyone who stayed with us. I love the chat. I think that's Sibby basically saying go to bed. Go to bed, Zevi. He wants him to get some rest. Simi and Coach Zucker having the same.
Yeah, we can't be held liable by any means.
Same regimen. Exactly. As long as we got. And by the way, he's going back to do some chazara or something else. Like it's not. It's not.
Yeah,
us.
he's not crashing.
It's not us. There's no way he's crashing. That was a very awake. That was a very awake face, but just incredibly calm. And you see that out there on the court, right? Like, again, living with purpose at such a young age to understand what that, have an idea of what that purpose is. Honestly, our first conversation has left me just like in such a great space, because it's also, right, it's a whole different conversation, but there's purpose that came out with our conversation with Sam and Coach Zucker. Just again, listen to the thing. It's just take advantage of people who have lived the experience and are able to share that. Like I wish I opened my eyes more to people like Coach Zucker who were around me, because there were plenty of people like that, and I was just a young kid who didn't care and thought I learned everything I could. So I've been blown away by this conversation. Oren, thank you for being on this journey of a longer episode with us, but really well worth the time. And I hope we'll be talking a lot.
Definitely eventful, a wealth of information. I think it actually outdid the length of a Harold Katz podcast. Yeah, we have to. Tell me more things we have to do. But I'm just trying to figure out how we earn our logo. That's what we can. The Harold Katz podcast is the best logo in the business, and I'm not literally in all of Apple Podcast, wherever it shows up. It's fantastic and so fitting. So we got to figure out what we're gonna do. We gotta elevate the Bal Habatim logo here. Well, we have a group nickname, but there's only one Godfather. Yeah, that's true. There is only one. There's only one Godfather, and maybe he will grace. We'll set up the dueling banjos of Shua and Shua's analytics and Harold's just incredible experience and wealth. And we have a lot of conversations that'll be coming. This Max team will keep pleasing the audience, and this has been a tremendous journey. We'll talk soon. Tomorrow night to look forward to in Brooklyn, NYU, big test, and then again back home. Are we playing? Is it Mount St. Mary's or Mount St. Vincent? I got to go look at the schedule again. No, Mount St. Mary's Saturday night, Mount St. Vincent Monday night. These are again big games just to get into that. Really set ourselves. Dylan Hode Monday night. Dylan Hode. We love the Hode family and excited to see that team in. So this is awesome. Have a wonderful night. Thank you to everyone listening again. Subscribe, like. Thank you, Mayor, on the ones and twos. Really appreciate it. This is tremendous, and have a wonderful night, guys.